Okay, so now we are going to visualize a K-means model. So using Yellowbrick, there is a K-means visualizer, and we initialize the K-means model the same way we normally do with sklearn. So just go to Shift Tab, excuse me, and you can see it initializes the exact same way, max iterations, the number of clusters, default is 8. And what we are going to do here is we are going to go through and say, okay, for a K in the range of 2 to 12, let's visualize how many clusters we need. And we've looked at this once before, but I wanted to go ahead and do that against this model as well, this classification model, so you understand what that looks like. Okay, great. So looking at this, it's showing that K equal to 5 is the correct number of clusters that we should be targeting. So that's a very interesting model, very clean presentation quality. And we see that using the elbow method, we should be looking at 5 clusters, which is great, all right? And we're seeing diminishing returns when we go below 5. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at another visualizer. And let's see. So this is a silhouette visualizer. And all this does is it allows us to understand the separation between each cluster, okay? Very simple. So we have 5 cluster centers, and you can see that there's a pretty strong separation between each one of the clusters. Cluster number 1 and cluster number 2 are very distinct, and 4 and 3, we see a little bit less separation between those two. So now let's go ahead and look at the balance and imbalance of our data sets. Okay, so again, when we looked at the classification report, let's go back up to the classification report here. We see that we have a imbalance of the data. So we have 56 instances of no recession versus 11 of recession. So what you'd want to do is to resample or upsample the positive events so that we can have something that's more like 33-33, right? More 50-50 representation between the two. So there's not so much of an imbalance. Okay, so let's go back down here and you can see this a little bit more. And all we're doing is we are visualizing the balance between the labels. So with 67 instances, we have support of 55 for no recession and only 11 for recession. So again, it just shows you that we can use sklearn and use one-liners for visualizations so we can understand the underpinnings of our models. Okay, thank you very much, and we're going to move on to the next section.